Latinas Volume 5 book. Are we celebrating or what? This is a magical day. We were just chatting here behind the scenes. First of all, just congratulations. We're going to keep, bringing in the authors, the about to be best-selling authors, because we are number 2 hot new release right now, like hot new release. So please, if you're watching us, get the book, order the book, help us get to that best-selling number. And we are number 3 in bestseller in about 3 or 4 categories. And we're hitting like the number 3, number 4, number 5 in a bunch of different categories. So help us get to that bestseller ranking. But it is so, so exciting that we are celebrating today the launch of the Extraordinary Latinas Volume 5 book. Yes! Isn't it exciting? How are you all feeling? Excited? Nervous? Can you believe it? Has it like dropped? Yes? No? How are you feeling?
Excited and happy. I wasn't sure how it was all gonna go, but fantastic. It's been a great ride. It's been a great experience, and thank you so much to United Latinas. I mean, it's been just a wonderful experience.
I love that. So now that you've taken the stage, Helena, why did you join? Like, what made you say yes to this book and this journey? Because it's been a roller coaster.
Yes, it certainly has. Right, I think a number of things. The first one, very personal. I strongly believe that sharing our stories, and I know I've said this before. I don't know more than anybody. Anybody doesn't know more than I do. But our experiences are different, and there is value in sharing those, so we can expand our community and learn from each other as well. And sometimes in our cultures we tend to minimize what our stories may have been. And I thought, if there's ever a time that I'm going to do this, is now, because I'm in such a great company as well. And again, it's important, especially now, right, that we continue to support each other and tell our stories. Representation is important. So that's that was from both the personal side, and also for our community as well. So it served various purposes. And when opportunities come along, it's up to you if you want to walk through the door or not. And I was ready, so why not?
I love that. And it's so important, right? That you never know when those opportunities knock the door. But more importantly is to answer it and to not be afraid, no matter how much the fear starts taking over, because there's a lot of uncertainty. And I remember answering a lot of questions last year when we started on this journey, like, how's it gonna go? Like, what's gonna happen? I don't know how to write. What's the story that I want to give? But in the end, we have an amazing book. All of your chapters are spectacular. So I'm very, very excited. Monica, what about you? Like, what made you be here and how do you feel?
I feel like I'm in this new phase of life, that now that this has happened, it's kind of opened up some possibilities. But I think the reason I wanted to get involved was a couple of reasons. Is one, I was talking to my family about what legacy am I going to leave? What legacy are you going to leave? And we started having that conversation of, like, once we're gone, is our presence still felt when we're no longer here? So that was more of a deeper question. And then the other part is, I have tended not to mix my work life with my personal life. And now they're coming together in a way where my friends probably really don't know what I do. Some of my longtime friends, because I live out of the area, and some of my colleagues are going to read things that they haven't known before. And so for me, it was like, you know what, if not now, when? So for me, that's what it was. And lastly, I would say, for my daughter, this chapter was really about how she shows up a lot in what she meant in being my daughter and me having the privilege of being her mother.
So many good points, because we do tend to keep our lives separate, or many of us tend to keep our lives separate. But then we put ourselves in, these pages, and suddenly it all comes true. And it becomes so important that we are able to be okay with who we are in all of these spaces, because it is a part of us, right? So I'm so glad that you shared, and I hope that your daughter, when she reads the chapter, if she hasn't already, feels just as proud as we all are of all of you, you and all of your journeys. Candy, how about you? What made you join this journey, and how are you doing?
It's definitely nervous because I've never gone through a project like this before, because I'm so used to assisting and amplifying through community, so doing community outreach and engagement, so amplifying others. So then when it was the opportunity to amplify my voice, I don't know why it seemed counterintuitive, right? Like it just seemed as though it's given to others, but I think that's what made this opportunity so special, is that I could then step forward into that stage in my life where I can, put forth my voice and say that my voice is bold and it matters. And representation, especially in healthcare for Latinas and working in community health workers, and especially in a rural area, it's really important, since everything is based off of community. If somebody doesn't know, I have a tia or a cousin, and we're just these natural community connectors. So I really wanted to amplify that voice.
I love that. Thank you so much. And it become like our story is not just our story, right? It's a collective story of the people in our families, the people that we interact with, the people that influence us and that we influence. So it becomes such a powerful, through your lenses, you're also elevating other people's stories as well. So very, very important. Thank you so much. Ana, Rosana, welcome, welcome. And we also have other authors coming in. Diana, how about you? We just saw each other like last week in
Yes,
person. We were there. Helena was there as well in the Charlotte chapter. It was the first time that we showed, the
yes,
book. So exciting. Diana, tell us more.
yes. It was amazing. It was. I think that was just a prelude to this energy and the culmination of bringing multi authors together. And part of the journey, as some of you may know, I've been a former Texas legislator, have been in politics. So unlike others, I have been like way, way in the limelight. But it's also the moment in this point in time that I had two surgeries last year, and it was more of a pausing moment to reflect and get an assessment of what the direction is for my life and where are that impact and alignment that I'm doing. So sometimes we don't want to stop, but sometimes the universe tells us to stop. And I think there's a lot of lessons when we do take that moment to pause and stop and learn and really kind of settle in stillness as to the gifts that are really have always been inside of us and let that flow out, because I think that that's where we continue to grow versus kind of chasing and figuring out who's doing what and all of this stuff. And then also I do have a 6-year-old granddaughter, Camila, that she inspires me every day, and like her thought process and looking at it from a lens of a 6-year-old really also is the impetus to more growth and learning. So happy to be here and congratulations to all of you. And I look forward to meeting every one of you at some point in the near future.
I love that, and so important to acknowledge this moment in time, right? So thank you so much for sharing that, because we're all in different spaces and in different journeys, but we need to listen, go beyond and listen to what the world is telling us, to what our body is telling us, to what our environment is telling us, because we tend to just like go, 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 and all of you here and all of the other chapters, like you're go-getters. When I read your chapters, I'm just so humbled and inspired by everything that you've accomplished. So so definitely important take a pause at moments in time and listen. Thank you so much for sharing. Anna, how about you? How are you feeling today? Are you excited? Like what's going through your mind?
Yeah, and thank you very much, Ileana. I'm super, super excited. As you know, I'm working, so I'm super busy all the time, but just taking the time to write, it was just amazing for me and to me. And writing this story, I think it was not about the past, at least for me. It was more about like setting the space for the future, which is great. Because I know like many Latinas here, I learned very early how to be like resilient, capable to adapt to possibilities, to adapt to different things. But often I have been like always like very quiet about my achievements. So, and I think has been happening to a lot of Latinas. So I think for a long time, I believe that was enough, which I don't think anymore. So writing this chapter here with all of you, which I'm really, really proud of all of us because we have been achieving this, has been challenged me to do something different and to be able to be visible and to take up space and to trust that my voice matter because I think when I was writing this story, I was thinking, okay, why am I writing this story? And I think it is because I know how powerful it is when you see yourself reflected in someone else's journey. And this story is not like a perfect story at all. It is not a very polished story, but I think it's a real one. And I'm relating here with all my peers here that are in this meeting as well. That my story is a story of sacrifice. It's a story of loss and how like every time, like again and again, I'm trying to go back and be resilient and say, okay, we need to keep going. And I think this is a story for every Latina who has questioned themselves about, okay, I don't know, am I doing this correctly? I need to soften my voice or have waited to get approval or to get validation. I think this is a real space to share that, of course, your voice has a value because I have been there. And now with this and this writing, I've demonstrated that, of course, all our voices matter. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Thank you very much, Ileana.
Thank you, Anna. We should be excited because if you don't know, we are number 2 in hot new release. Yay! And we are number 3 in bestseller in 4 categories. So we're this close. We're this close. So if you haven't purchased your book yet, like go and purchase it so that you can help us get to that bestseller status because we need more Latina stories out there. We need more Latina, Latina best-selling authors. So thank you so much for that. Rosana, how about you? How's it going down in South Florida?
So I'm actually in Puerto Rico, and I'm
Oh,
outside.
be-
Here for a conference, and it's probably a little loud, so I apologize. Yeah,
you're
there's an
good.
airplane passing by right now. But what I want to say is that I'm at a conference with mostly non-Latinas, and they asked me, "Who's the audience for this book?" And I said, everybody. I'm like, everybody. And at first I said, but, probably more than not, women will be interested in it. And what I have found today, I have given, kind of the posts everywhere to friends, to my like kind of all my accounts. The people that are responding the most are actually men. And I say, yes, you get to level up, understand women through and through. Like women are talking about decades of their life, their journey. You're going to be a master at understanding women after this book. So I think it's wonderful that like it's really for all audiences. And that's one of the things that I really wanted to say, that I just realized it because I hadn't thought about it. Like, who is this really for? So I really hope everybody gets involved in really reading all of our wonderful stories. And you guys are really amazing. I can't wait to meet all of you, hopefully at the conference or wherever it is, but I'm really excited.
Yes, absolutely. And yes, that's part of celebrating this month, right? It's about celebrating our voices, not only as Latinas, but as women, to be able to create those spaces of knowledge and understanding and just awareness, because it's very hard to understand somebody else and to feel empathy if you don't, like, if you're not part of their environment. But through your stories, through your lenses, then that just makes the connection easier and better. So thank you so much for that. Maciel, how about you? How are things going?
Hi, things are going really great. I'm definitely extremely excited to be part of this process. The book launch, just sharing space with all these amazing women and getting to meet them throughout the process, and especially you, Ileana. It's been a really great ride, and I'm definitely excited for, the world to really hear our stories because stories are powerful and stories really matter, especially, during a time like today where there's so many things that we are unsure of, but definitely we're sure of our stories and sure of ourselves. And I'm really hoping that somehow along the way we can inspire others to really find their voice. And yeah, and I just keep thinking about my daughter who's graduating high school right now and really thinking about what she wants to do. And I'm really proud that, we can, together show her, what's possible for her for, as a Latina out there in the world, finding herself and really, developing and growing. So excited about what's to come. And I'm looking forward to meeting all of you in person.
Absolutely. And you bring up such an important point about the diversity of options that are out there for all of us to envision, right? What our future can hold for us. And sometimes that's something that we just know what we know. Or I say, like, we don't know what we don't know, because our circles sometimes, or our environment is very small. But when you read all of your stories, because you're all in different places and different spaces, have different backgrounds, come from different journeys, had different experiences, all of your lives had.
Leona, I'm not sure, but I can't hear anything that you're saying right now. You may be muted.
Am I muted? Can anybody
No, I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
No, we're
Yeah.
good. Okay, perfect. So in the end, like, we don't know what we don't know, and therefore can't envision a path for us that might be different than the one that our parents had or the environment that we're in. But by reading all of your stories, then you can envision, oh my God, I can, be a somebody in office, right? Hold a space, or be a community leader, or go into healthcare, or being a coach, or being in law, like all of these things. It's easier to envision those if you can read them through other people's eyes. So thank you, all of you, so much for being able to put yourselves out there and be so vulnerable of the good and the challenging, so to speak, and still show up here. Dr. Laura, how about you?
Hey, hello. How's everybody? I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you, Eliana, again for inviting us here. And I'm so excited about the launch of the book. And, everybody's chapters are so amazing. They're fabulous. I took some time to read them, every single one of them. And like you said, the stories are not just transformation, it's actually very inspirational, right? Some of us have gone through really difficult times, whether it's health, whether it's, the country that we come from. But more importantly, every single one of us leaves a tidbit behind for those who might have experienced something like what we have, right? Wherever we come from, we're giving you in the book, we're giving you a way for you to, if you can kind of relate to it, maybe we can give you a way forward from our stories. So I think that that's something that we're also leaving behind. And as you know, Eliana, I really believe that legacy is left every day, not the time that you leave. So these are definitely words from all of these beautiful, powerful, and charismatic women, but they're also inspirational and so, so, so strong. So read it. And I know that many of us are available on LinkedIn and, comments, questions, etc. because we are here to support communities. We're here to support women. We're here to support Latinas. But as Rosanna said before, men are, or our allies or any other people, right? These stories will resonate with many folks way beyond the current generations or the current gender for these stories. So excited, excited, excited. So
Absolutely, absolutely, Lauren. You bring up a very important point. Sometimes when we hear interviews, when we see people, in the media, on TV, we read people in books, and in different, platforms, it's like them and us, right? We're the audience, they're the protagonist in whatever space, but there's like a space in between that leaves us, here versus the other side. But this book has all of your contact information, and we made it intentional so that the reader, the reader that are seeing us out there, can reach out. Like, feel free to reach out, because the intention is for this not only to be a space to elevate our voices, but also to share the wisdom, to be able to speak with each other, to support each other, because in the end, it's in community that we're able to rise. It's thank you to the communities that we built that we've been able to, to do and to overcome all of the challenges and achieve the successes that each Latina in this virtual space and in the book have accomplished. And now we want to continue to build on that. So, also reach out, feel free to reach out, to connect, to share, and to reach us at different events and in our conference that's happening on April 23rd in Charlotte, our Brave Voices conference, because many of the book authors, not only of this volume, but also of the other 4 volumes, we are close to 80 Latinas in this Extraordinary Latina series, which is really, really great. And you're going to be able to meet, many of them there, and be able to continue to expand our network, because our network becomes critically important for everything that we want to do. So yes, very important. Thank you so much, Gabby. Thank you for joining. And before I pass on the word to you, I just want to say there's a couple of people that are here, like not physically here, they can't be, but I know that they're watching. I know that they're on the other side, but they have other things that made them, not possible for them to be here. So Andrea Velasquez, thank you so much for joining, at least virtually, on the other side of the screen. Also to many of our other authors that are going through personal situations today, so they couldn't be here, but we know that you're all here, in heart, whether physically or, with your virtual presence. Gabby, how about you? Welcome.
Hola, hola. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi. So glad to be here.
So how was your experience? How are you feeling today?
Oh man, it's hard to really put it into words, right? As a first graduate, an attorney, those are big accomplishments that I never expected I was going to complete, and then now a published author, which was never something that I thought I could do or complete. And here I am now sharing this space with all these amazing Latinas and their stories and, the grit it took us to be where we're at right now. And so I'm just very excited to just be part of that and share my story. And hopefully, and I know it might resonate with a lot of us, especially us Chicanas who grew up during that time, in that time where identity was very questioned, right? They were connecting Chicana with something bad. And so there was that period of shame. And so now to be able to put some of my stuff into a story, and where I am able to work the space I'm in now, it's just been amazing. And just learning from all of you powerful Latinas there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for again for sharing your story, because we've just said it, right? Each person brings a different perspective to our journeys, which may be similar in some way in terms of the ups and downs and the challenges and the barriers and the struggles, because the struggle is real. But then we bring it from different lenses, and the way we approached it, the way we were able to believe in ourselves and our worth and who we are, the way we were able to find our voice and connect, it is different, and it is very important for the reader, for younger generations to feel connected with with one or two of you, so that they can in turn be able to feel that they have a place, they have a voice, and they have a bright future ahead of them, no matter what, no matter where they are in their journey or what life has thrown at them. So thank you so much for doing that. And we're coming towards the end of today, this cafecito. This book has 19 authors plus the foreword of Lucy Perez. So 20 overall. So it's a really, really hefty, really great book. What can I say? You're not going to be able to leave it down, because each story is just so amazing and it's inspiring. I recommend that when you read it, like you have some tissues beside you, so that you can, just really live through their voice, all of these experiences. But I couldn't be more honored, I couldn't be more excited for the launch of this book. Help us support. Again, we are, let me put the banner once more. If you haven't gotten your copy, please get your copy at unitedlatinas.com/book. We are one spot away of hitting that bestseller. We need more bestsellers from Latina authors. So help us get there. It would mean the world to all of these amazing authors and to ourselves. So, any final words, Rosana?
Well, one of the things that I also got asked was, is it in English or in Spanish? So it's yeah. So that's what I was saying. I was like, really important to know there is probably a little Spanish in there, but it is mostly in English. So everyone is very, very welcome to, dive into our lives. I think we really left it all in there. And it's amazing how, cathartic and how beautiful of an experience it was for each and every one of us to go through this separately and then yet get to be part of this together. So again, thank you to you, Ileana and Sandra, for having this idea, this beautiful, just series that continues to go for the rest of our lives, hopefully, and beyond. And just to be part of it at the onset is just so exciting. And I'm really thrilled. And I woke up, you asked us earlier, like how we woke up. I woke up so excited. I was like a little kid on Christmas. I was like, oh my God, it's here. So
I know. Yes, it is. We've been doing it now. I mean, this is the fifth book. This is the fifth year, and I still get like thrilled every time. It's like, oh my God, it's about to go live. Is it live? Like, where are we on the rankings? Like, have we gotten there? Like, please, please. It is. It is a beautiful, beautiful experience. So I'm just so grateful to all of you to have been able to share your stories, your voice, the good, the challenges, and just, be vulnerable, be real, because I think we need more of those stories in the world to notice that we are not the only ones that go through these challenges, but there definitely is a light at the end of the tunnel. And there's always something that, will help us rise, will help us shine. And this community is going to be always there for all of you as well.
And one
So
more thing, Elena,
go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
One thing that I also realized when somebody, I forget who was saying it about, that we really don't talk about our achievements much. Like, like I know when I had my graduation from my MBA, I only told my mom and my dad about it. And like, no one else really, like, there was no celebration, nothing. And that's one of the things that I realized, like, we get to celebrate for having done just this beautiful, work of art together. And so that's what I woke up with today. Like, I get to celebrate and tell the whole world, which I wouldn't normally. Like, my mom didn't even know I was part of this. So that's what I was saying. I was like, I ordered a book and I sent it to her, and I haven't even told her. She's gonna open it. She'll be like, "What are you doing?" Because we don't just scream it from the balconies what we're up to, and we get to celebrate today. So that's what I really implore all of the authors, every woman, everybody out there, just celebrate your life, all of your achievements, everything you're doing. It's so exciting. All of it's so much fun, and it's the present. This is our gift.
It absolutely is, and it's a gift to each of you, right? A personal gift also to ourselves, because it's a way to recognize and acknowledge like the journey. Sometimes we don't realize all the things that we've gone through and all the things that we've accomplished, and it's a great way to physically like see, oh my God, I actually did a lot. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today, for the support, for the love. Connect with all of the authors. You'll see all of their posts out there on social media, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on YouTube. Please support. And if you're interested in connecting with the authors, well, not only will you be able to do that through the book and through each of their chapters, they have their contact information there, but as well during our Brave Voices conference, which is coming up on April 23rd in Charlotte, North Carolina. Early bird registration is still open, and it ends one more week. Yes, it ends at the end of next week. So be on the lookout for that and register, because slots are filling up really, really quickly. We're very excited for our conference. And then the second half of the year, if you're interested in sharing your story, if you're interested in being a book author, then this is your moment, because we're starting registrations for volume 6 in early July. So stay on the lookout for that as well. And then we have a ton of other surprises for the second half of the year. We're going to have the Extraordinary Latina Awards. We're going to have the Top 50 Over 50. We're going to have more chapter events, more programming. We're going to have a lot of other things. And more importantly, we're going to have a lot of fun, because we can't live life just working. We need to feel joy. We need to feel connected. We need to be a part of, each other's lives. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, for everything. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, wherever in the world you are. Thank you, ladies, so much. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.